Conversations in Public Relations. I'm your host, Mary Fletcher Jones. You know, the best communication strategies are based on information about our target audiences. But what is the most effective way of obtaining this market research? Today, let's talk to Sandra Hannon, PhD and accredited public relations professional. Sandra is founder and principal of the Hannon Group, a company that helps clients reach target markets using cost-effective public relations and market research strategies. I've asked Sandra here today to talk to us about what communicators should know about market research. Sandra, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in public relations?
Well, at this point in time, I've been in public relations and market research for about 20 years. And I've started, of course, at junior level positions and worked with various corporations, including Alcan Aluminum and Bell Canada, because I'm originally from Canada, and Bell Canada is the equivalent of AT&T. So I've been really lucky in that I've worked with large corporations and been in large PR departments. But I've also worked in smaller consulting firms, and ultimately I ended up in Fleshman-Hillard as a vice president, and Fleshman-Hillard is one of the largest PR agencies in the country. And that was a wonderful experience, and I think it culminated all the skills and experiences that I've learned into one really great experience where I learned how to work harder but smarter and ultimately provide great customer service. So that's when I decided that at that point in time I could go and start my own firm, the Hannon Group, and we're a public relations and market research firm.
Tell us more about your company and what it does.
Well, the Hannon Group is a public relations and market research firm, and what we do is design communications programs and collateral materials. And we also provide market research, and our clients are across the board. We have a variety of clients, including everybody from the United States Tennis Association to ExxonMobil to other public relations and advertising companies that hire us to conduct market research studies. We've been at this since 2002, and happy to say that we've won awards for our work and also for our clients.
Sandra, what do you like most about your work?
Well, you know, I think the best thing for me is that public relations and market research is first and foremost about people. And, you know, when you talk to somebody who wants to go into public relations, they always say, well, I like people, so I think it's going to be a great field for me. And anybody who's in public relations or market research knows that, you know, it's more than liking to be around people. It requires a lot of skill set. But the thing that I enjoy the most, especially when it comes to market research, is that we often work in social marketing campaigns. And for me, I get a great deal of satisfaction knowing that the work that we do will impact not just one or two people, but millions of people in some instances, because we do a lot of work with national initiatives with, for example, the Centers for Disease Control or the United States Department of Health and Human Services. And those initiatives have to do with people's health, their well-being. We've done everything from working on the H1N1 influenza potential epidemic to traumatic brain injuries, etc. And it gives me great satisfaction knowing that we're testing materials, we're testing messaging, we're working with people from all walks of life to find out what will influence them to take better care of their health or the health of their loved ones. And to me, that provides tremendous satisfaction.
What do you wish communicators understood better about market research?
Great question, because I always am surprised by how many people without training in research, formal training in research, think that they can write surveys or moderate focus groups or even recruit for focus groups. And a lot of people go through many years of graduate school to learn how to design efficient scientific research studies. And please don't get anything misinterpreted when I say that market research is really scientific research. It has to be scientific research, even in the case of focus groups, because if it's not scientific, then you're not getting information that is scientifically based, and therefore the information that you're getting is either skewed or biased in some way. So I think the best tip is that people should understand that at certain points with your research, you should get an expert in, and there are different ways that you can bring an expert on board so that you can create a research study, whether it's an online survey or an in-person interview or a focus group that is scientifically based. And get that guidance in from somebody who has been trained at the graduate level, who has extensive experience working in various methodologies, so that you can have the peace of mind that the money that you're spending on doing the research is money well spent, and in the end of the day, the research that you conduct will give you information that will improve your campaign strategies, fine-tune your materials, and ensure that you're developing messages and materials, advertising materials that will reach your audience in the most effective way.
Can you share an example of how market research helped a client refocus or redirect their message?
Yeah, I can think of a couple of examples, Mary, but one comes to mind really prominently. A few years ago, a government agency secured our services to test out different messages and potential spokespersons for a campaign that was to encourage Americans to wear their seatbelts. And they felt that Princess Diana would be a good model of what happens when you don't wear your seatbelt. Now, I don't know if you remember, but Princess Diana unfortunately died in a car crash, and reports and investigations indicated that had she been wearing her seatbelt, she would have survived the car crash. There were several people that in the communications firm that hired us that felt that this probably was not a good match between the spokesperson and the younger audiences and the urban audiences that they were targeting. So we tested that out. Sure enough, focus group after focus group after focus group said that they really could not relate to Princess Diana because she was royalty and she was wealthy and she lived in a world that had absolutely nothing to do with their young urban lives. So that's an incident where testing out a potential tactic, which in this case was to use Princess Diana's incidents and case and death as an example of why people should wear a seatbelt, really would not have worked. And if you could imagine, this would have been a statewide program. Hundreds of thousands of dollars would have been invested in advertising and public relations, strongly figuring and including Princess Diana. That campaign would have gone way over the heads of the very target audiences that they were trying to reach, and it would have been a waste of taxpayers' dollars, but more importantly, people would not increase wearing their seatbelts, and that's what the campaign was targeted to do. So more importantly, aside from the waste of dollars, you would not have reached your goal, which was to increase the number of people wearing their seatbelts and reduce the number of deaths due to car crashes.
Sandra, thanks for being here today. I learned so much about the value of market research.
Mary, thank you for having me. It's been fun.